Hey guys, so that basically wraps up the trading day for Friday. Kind of a slow day. Ran the scanner this morning and at first I was really excited because there was I think like 17 stocks or something on the scanner. I was like, yes, I love when it's this low. But then all the lead gappers were kind of just pulling back. The catalysts were questionable. But really, the chart pattern was the biggest red flag because, CAPR, for example, on paper, it looked really, really good. And I was like, that's definitely going to be a lead gapper. But then the chart pattern, you'll see it in a second. You'll see what I'm talking about. But sometimes you gotta think, okay, so all the information I'm seeing is looking pretty good, but what's the chart doing? And when you trade these small caps, the chart patterns and the technicals are really, really important. So today you're gonna kind of see that a little bit. I'm gonna definitely put a little bit more focus on just trying to point out what to look for pre-market to decide if this is going to be a lead gapper. Today, patience was definitely key, and well, right now I've definitely wrapped up trading. There's probably a few more good moves that are going to happen today. Maybe ECOR had a really nice little bounce actually, or big pullback right after we ended the stream, or maybe like 10 minutes after we ended the stream. So I mean, ECOR could be a big runner today. Who knows? But I think that's enough trading for me for this week. It's very easy to overtrade on these slow days, and you can be as patient as you want, but eventually you might just have a little bit of FOMO, a moment of FOMO. So I always like to kind of cut it around 11 o'clock, and sometimes I'll go to 12 o'clock, or sometimes I'll do like 1 or 2 trades in the afternoon. But really at 11 o'clock, I notice everything I do after that, it gets messy. Plus, remember, a whole big selling point to becoming a day trader is to give yourself so much more freedom if it's time, if it's financial. And what's the point if you're just going to be looking at the monitor all day? So here I am, I'm just going to enjoy my little quarantine window and wrap it up. And now I have time for other things. So that's the beauty of day trading. You're only busy for about an hour or two, maybe 3 hours. And then you're basically done to do what you want. Like make these recap videos or code TradeJournal, which takes up most of my morning, or just have a beer, but that's usually not the best pre-market decision. All right, guys, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoy this content. If you're totally new here, I'd love to see you again, so consider subscribing. Questions and comments, leave them below. Let's go to the charts now. All right, guys. So it's what time is it? 11:38 up here, a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you know what? I just got another trade on our lead gapper. We ended the live stream around 11:05, so somewhere in this area. And we were watching this kind of run up for the last time, and I was like, okay, well, we're approaching VWAP. When we were down here, I was like, there's a good chance it might break VWAP. I would have probably sold in the 25s. I don't think I would have waited this long, but yeah, I mean, a lot of times when nothing moves, like when we had such a weak day today, I ran the scanners and I was a little disappointed. There was no clear lead gapper, and I was like, well, this looks like a little bit of a shaky day. And it was definitely a slow open. Everything was just pulling back. But sometimes when you have a day like that, you'll get a really, really big afternoon move or midday move or something like that. So I was thinking that ECOR could have been the one, or could be the one, could still be the one. So let's just review it for a second here. Why was it not looking so good? Pre-market, it was gapping up 140%. 20 million float, which is kind of on the higher end. It's a U.S. healthcare company, but this is the part that really I didn't like. Where was it? So yeah, down here is where we opened up. So we're pulling back around 27% off the highs, pre-market highs. I don't really like to see that. I like to, if we pretended for a second that this is maybe where we're opening up, this looks much better. And so we have the first leg up here. We're consolidating above VWAP. We don't pull back more than, I would say, 20%. And then, waiting for that market open, and then boom, buying the gap and go right there, making your, 10, 20, 30% or something like that. But Ecore was kind of on the backside of the move already. It traded a little bit too much pre-market, and that's, I think, because the news came out yesterday evening. So we had Ecore submitted an FDA approval, which didn't really seem like it should be that big move for just submitting some documents, but they're based around the coronavirus, and let's quickly see it here. Here we go. So they submitted this right at the market close yesterday, and that's why the big move happened, basically extended hours yesterday, which kind of ruined it as today's gapper, I would say. But yeah, ultimately announced that the company submitted emergency use authorization application for the U.S. facility study clinical use of. So yeah, they're using ECOR, one of their non-invasive vagus nerve stimulation therapy for symptoms associated to the coronavirus, which is great stuff. I mean, good for that company. I hope it all works out. But ultimately, they're submitting an application. It's just a giant question mark. What's really going on? It moved the price 140%, but you can see, today it's just people taking profits, closing out. Plus, a lot of these stocks, long-term investors, they'll sell into any sort of spike because they're just happy to get out at this point. So not to mention, we're also on the backside of this move, which wasn't really looking too good either. So I was not really interested in buying this thing at any one time. Right down here, I was hoping we would crash below 107, 105, and I wanted to dip buy in this area. Could have probably worked here, but this would have been tough. This is kind of a guessing game. We had a triple bottom here, and I was waiting for this to break down. And when this didn't break down, we had a double bottom again, kind of forming here, a higher low forming here. I was like, this is looking good. And then we broke higher, and I instantly got aggressive. This is what I was waiting for. This was a nice 9% move. I sold too early. I left probably like 2-3% on the table. But I was, you just don't know, like, is it going to reverse here? What's going on? I don't know. I see so many of these like bounces, and then they go up 5, 6, 7%, and then before you know it, you're closing a trade that you were green on for a loss, and that's really just the worst thing. So I was happy to close out this one. I did think here we were going to have another kind of run, and I definitely missed this entry. This could have been a nice 8% move, and yeah, I don't know. Here, I was thinking about putting an order in here at 1.2 since there was some support and resistance here, but I found like at this 112 area was a bit more significant. You can kind of see kind of in this area that there's, oops, that's not the straightest line, but you get the point. Right in that 112 area, we have a breakdown of this area, we have a top in this area, we have a breakout in this area, we have a bounce in this area, and then lo and behold, we pull back to the 112 area. So really held true. I tried to front run it a little bit, 113, we pulled back to 112 for like a split second. I probably would have not got filled at 112, so I was pretty happy I got that entry, and then I kind of just sold right away. I mean, who knows, Ecore could be a big runner, but I was pretty happy to wrap up today with $146 profit, because today seemed like such a slow day, but we still made profit. Actually a pretty decent profit for the day. So I couldn't be more happy, and I don't know. Ecore could be a big winner, but for now I'm not going to be trading it anymore. Not to mention I only have $500 left to trade. CARP was the disappointment, huh? This was our second lead gapper. It was gapping up 60%, 4 million float, which is really nice. Look at this gap up 60%, 4 million float, but then selling off 27%. That's not what you want to see. You don't want to see that. And then this thing just keeps pulling off. US biotech with a coronavirus kind of possible treatment. They're doing some human testing. It looks like novel cell therapy patients using. So, I mean, it's good news, but it didn't seem like the market reacted to it very well. And it's probably because, they have dilution, they have warrants out, they had a reverse split. So, the news could be really good, but the stock still might not perform based on back holders or investors just wanting to get out. I mean, there's so many variables in play. So that's why at the end of the day, when you trade small caps and kind of large caps as well, but specifically small caps, I mean, if the chart is not showing what you want it to show, if it doesn't show that it's a good candidate for a gap and go play, you kind of have to put more value onto what the actual chart is showing you, and not just blindly want to trade it. Because honestly, CAPR was much more on paper, it looked better, 60% gap up, 4 million float, while the other one already gapped up 140% pre-market. It's a bit overextended. 20 million float, that's twice as much of a float that we typically want to be looking for. Both the catalysts were kind of questionable, but coronavirus based, so big moves there. So I don't know. Patience today was definitely the key. I mean, that's really what made us profitable today. I never rushed into any order, or with Ecore, I never really rushed into anything. So I think that was the big reason. I think I'm walking today green. I also was very conservative with taking my profits, which I mean, if I wasn't so conservative, I mean, imagine we had a 30% trade. That could have been really nice. We could have ended today super, super green, but you just don't know. And I've learned that, you know, taking profits when you have them isn't a bad idea. I do need to work on averaging out a little bit more. I know that's a kind of a thing I struggle with, but with an account, like since we're doing the small account challenge right now, and you know, a lot of my trades are like $1,000 to $1,500 position sizes. Sometimes I'm like, what am I going to average out? A few $100s, but I should start getting in the mindset, right? Every trading is all percentage based, and that's probably a mistake on my end for sure. I've definitely left a lot of money on the table because I'm not averaging out. But yeah, I think that's really everything for this video. I mean, we had some. There's not much more to talk about. A lot of the lead gappers from yesterday. We had IO just, you know, totally getting crushed, not really doing anything. Let me actually, yeah. So here you can see IO. Let me put this on a 5-minute chart just to kind of show it easier. So, you know, yesterday's big mover, why does it, yeah, okay, yesterday's big mover kind of sold off and consolidating, not really too interesting. And NEPT also just kind of getting destroyed here. Yeah, big move yesterday and then just selling off. This is why we don't hold overnight. A lot of these plays are only plays for a day. APOP, this was the one we traded yesterday and it had a really nice green day, moved higher here, but then, you know, just got crushed the rest of the day. And this was a nice gap up. And this was a huge move. I think it opened up, let's see here, right around here. So 60% gap up and then ran another 70%. And then even actually had this move here. This was a 20% move. So yeah, APOP, we missed a lot of entries on it, but probably, yeah, you just want to watch out. You know, these are a lot of times. I mean, just look at the history. Every time this thing gaps up, it sells off. You know, big gap up, sell off, big gap up, sell off, big gap up, sell off. Here's a 2-day gap up, and you could probably even argue that this is a 2-day gap up as well. But just you got to be careful with these stocks. All right, guys, that's everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Again, don't forget to leave a comment if you did. I definitely appreciate that, and it makes this content more searchable for future traders. Also, if you're new here, consider subscribing. I'd love to see you again, have you on an upcoming stream, see you in the chat room. It was really, really good fun today. Even though it was a slow day, it was really fun in the chat room. And yeah, guys, stay safe, make some awesome trades, and I will see you first thing for Monday. Have a great weekend, guys. Till next time, ciao, ciao.